The Dreadful Truth, rewritten by Wyatt Rosales, inspired by The Return to Freddy's The Dreadful Truth by Tyler Alstrom. Chapter 7. On Christmas of 1948, Gron had decided to take his family to Goldie Pear Diner as a treat. However, unbeknownst to Gron, William was stalking him, and he took this chance to take his revenge on Gron. So, William ran his car into Gron's car, severely injuring Gron and his family. Gron and his family were sent to the hospital, and William ordered his second in command, Jackson Smith, to kill Gron's wife, Linda, and his eldest son, Tyler. Are you sure about this, Mr. Afton? Jackson said. Don't you think this is a little... Jackson was cut off, and William yelled at him. Don't talk back to me, Jackson. Now, go to the hospital that those people are staying at, and make them pay for what that bitch Gron did. Jackson hesitated, but then he agreed, sighing. Okay, I'll do it, he said. So, Jackson drove over to the hospital that Gron and his family were covering at, and he disguised himself as a doctor. Jackson went over to Gron's wife, Linda, and his eldest son, Tyler, and pulled the plug on both of them. Gron's eyes widened, and he tried to protest, but there was nothing he could do. Meanwhile, Vincent was absolutely devastated by the news. He couldn't believe that Gron, his lifelong best friend, would have something this terrible happen to him. During Vincent's night shift at Goldie Pear Diner, he saw that 4 kids had gotten stuck in the restaurant. Great, another mess I have to fix up, Vincent thought to himself. But then, Vincent had an idea. A beautifully awful idea. Vincent had a beautifully awful idea. He went out of the office and into the main room. There was a little girl crying, very obviously scared. Hey there, little girl, Vincent said in a faux friendly tone. The girl sniffled. Who are you? She said. Don't worry, little miss. I'm the security guard. I'm here to help you. How'd you get stuck in? Vincent responded. I was playing around and I didn't realize how late it got and I got stuck in with my friends, the girl explained. Aw, what's your name, little miss? Vincent asked. Susie? The girl responded. Wow, what a beautiful name. Say, Susie, I have a little surprise for you, Vincent said. What is it? Susie asked. This knife, Vincent yelled, and then he stabbed Susie. He had seen how terrible this hellspawn of a company is, and he planned on ruining the reputation of William's little empire by killing kids so that the restaurant gets shut down. He started with Susie, then Jeremy, then Gabriel, and then Fritz. However, unbeknownst to Vincent, the spirits of the children would live inside the building, haunting it, feeling restless, vengeful. Vincent was back in his office, and he wondered, was it really worth taking away innocent children's lives just to get a shitty pizzeria shut down? He lamented, but he brushed it off. About 2 days later, Gron would come back from the hospital, and he was physically and mentally scarred. And his only family member left, his son, Jackson, was sent to an orphanage, making him all alone except for Vincent and Elizabeth. Gron went into the building, and he was greeted by Vincent and Elizabeth. Gron, you're back, Vincent said in an excited tone. Hi, Uncle Gron, Elizabeth said, sounding even more excited. Oh, hey, Vince. Hey, Liz, Gron said, sounding tired. Hey, Elizabeth, Vincent said to Elizabeth. Yeah, Daddy, Elizabeth responded. How about you go play with the other kids? Me and Uncle Gron need to talk about grown-up stuff, Vincent said. Oh, okay, Elizabeth responded, as she went to go watch the animatronics and play with the other kids. Vincent then turned to Gron. Hey, Gron, I'm sorry about what happened, he said in a slightly sorrowful tone. It's okay, Vince, Gron responded. At least I have you and Elizabeth. I consider you two family, he added on. Then, suddenly, Gron's eyes widened as something caught his attention. In reality, there was nothing, but in Gron's mind, he saw a hallucination of his younger self. "Follow me," said the younger Gron as he led the actual Gron to the back room. Gron started following the hallucination. "Gron, where are you going?" Vincent exclaimed as he followed Gron. Gron went into the back room and saw the hallucination of his younger self, who was hung up in chains. Now, recently, two new Springlock animatronics, Frankfurt and Kitty Fastcat, were shipped to Goldie Pear Diner, and Gron accidentally stepped on a piece of trash that was on the floor, slipped, and fell into the Frankfurt suit. Then, the Springlocks went off. Gron screamed in pain as he met his gruesome end, and eventually died. Vincent watched in horror as he saw his best friend die in front of him. Coincidentally, the health inspector came to inspect the place that same day, and when he found Gron's dead body, he shut the place down. Well, Vincent had succeeded. He got Goldie Pear Diner shut down. But at what cost? Chapter 8. In 1950, Vincent decided to start up his own place, known as the Rat and Cat Theater. However, instead of using animatronics or Springlock suits, the Rat and Cat Theater just used regular mascot costumes. The first employees there were two acting school graduates, their names being Jerry and Nolan. They played two of the three main mascot characters that were there, with Jerry playing the rat, Nolan playing the cat, and Vincent himself played a character called the Puppeteer, as well as having a puppet named Vinny. The place was a huge success and made quite the fortune. It was all going well, until one day. You see, in 1952, there was planned to be a special event revealing the rat and cat's names. The rat was named Randy, and the cat was named Candy. However, Jerry had went to the bar earlier and ended up drinking a little too much alcohol. So, Vincent, who was in the puppeteer outfit, and Jerry, who was in the rat costume, got into an argument in the back room. "What were you thinking, Jerry? Imagine what everyone will think once they found out the person playing our main character is under the influence. It'll put your, mine, and the company's reputation down the gutter," Vincent yelled. "Hell no. I'm going out there. I'm the star of this place. All the children love me," Jerry yelled. "Look, I'll cover for you, and you can go home and recover." "Stop being so stubborn," Vincent replied, yelling. "No!" Jerry yelled back. Then the argument started getting physical, with them punching each other and such. Then Vincent pulled out his handgun and shot Jerry in the stomach. You see, when Vincent was young, his father taught him how to use a gun, and because of that, he always had one on him just in case. Jerry fell back and impaled himself on the edge of the desk. He was dead. Vincent's eyes widened. Jerry, you good?" Vincent said, but Jerry didn't respond. "Oh, shit, 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 shit," he exclaimed, panic in his voice. Then Nolan came into the room. "What's going on? What the hell happened here?" Nolan said, his eyes widening. "No, Nolan, please," Vincent yelled, desperation in his voice. Nolan went over to the phone to call the cops, but Vincent crept up behind him and snapped his neck. Then Vincent called the cops, made up a fake story to make himself sound like the victim instead of the perpetrator, and left the building. However, unbeknownst to Vincent, a young girl named Mary Schmidt had witnessed it all. But Mary blocked it out of her memory. The theater got shut down, and Vincent decided to put his acting skills to good use and started a movie called Psychopath, which would become very successful and also make Vincent rich and famous. At one point, Vincent tried reviving the Rat and Cat Theater. However, the rat animatronic, which was possessed by Jerry, ended up attacking a little boy named Mike Schmidt, who was Mary's brother, and the place got shut down not long after. 1 year later, Mary finally remembered what happened and told the true story to the police, getting Vincent arrested. However, Elizabeth would end up bailing him out. Vincent had already sold off his company to a larger company called Robotics Corp., and no movie of companies wanted to hire him due to the drama, so he had no options but to go back to Fazbear's. Chapter 9. The year is 1964. Vincent, along with Elizabeth now, had been working at Fazbear Inc. for a while. Vincent was the manager of various locations, and since there were so many of them, he had to communicate with all the employees at the locations using the phone. This earned him the nickname Phone Guy. Meanwhile, Elizabeth worked as the head technician at the manufacturing facility. One day, at the Fazbear Inc. manufacturing facility, Elizabeth was working on some new high-tech animatronics that she called Funtime animatronics. They consisted of Circus Baby, Ballora, Funtime Freddy, Bonbon, and Funtime Foxy. William came in to observe what Elizabeth was doing, and he was impressed. "Why, I must say, very good job, Elizabeth," William said. "Thanks, Mr. Afton," Elizabeth responded. "Just one little thing," William added on. "What is it?" Elizabeth replied. Then William handed her what looked to be 4 microchips. "Put one of these in each of them. It will be worth it. Trust me," he explained. Elizabeth seemed a little wary about it, but then she nodded. William smiled and said, "Great," then left the room. Elizabeth then put each of the chips into each of the animatronics. Elizabeth then turned Circus Baby on first. Circus Baby's blue eyes glowing as she did that. "Ah, hello there. Your name is Circus Baby. My name is Elizabeth," she said, sounding excited. Meanwhile, Baby stayed silent for a few seconds, but then her eyes turned red, and she said in her robotic voice, "Initiating Protocol Scooper." Then, a giant robotic claw came out of Baby's stomach and grabbed Elizabeth and started dragging her in. What's happening? It must have been that chip Mr. Afton gave me! Someone! Anyone! Help me!" Elizabeth screamed for her dear life, but it was too late, and she got dragged into and spring-locked in Circus Baby. Then William came into the room, glad that his plan had worked. "Perfect," he muttered, smirking. Once Vincent had saw that Elizabeth had gone missing, he started a full-blown investigation, just wanting his daughter back. After 2 days of not seeing her, he decided to confront William about it. "Afton," Vincent said, as he went into William's office. "Yes, Mr. Peterson," William replied. "Where is she?" Vincent said. "Who is she?" William replied, feigning ignorance. "Elizabeth, my daughter, goddammit! She's been missing for 2 days, and there's no sign of where she is," Vincent snapped. "Ah, yes, the girl. She's gone," William revealed. "What?" Vincent replied. "That's right. She's gone. Got killed in one of the springlock suits. Saw it happen with my own 2 eyes," William added on, still not directly revealing he was the one who caused it to happen. You! Vincent lost his cool and went in to punch William, but William blocked it and called up security to take Vincent away. "You took everything away from me, you bastard! You Antichrist! No! Vincent yelled as he was dragged away by William's security. At night, Vincent snuck into the facility and took the Circus Baby animatronic that had Elizabeth's body in it, took it to the back of his house, removed Elizabeth's dead body, and buried it in the backyard, her favorite place to play when she was young. However, he soon found out that Elizabeth was possessing the Circus Baby animatronic, so he decided to bring her back by taking out the circuit board that her soul was on, melting the animatronic body and building a more humanoid-looking version of it, used sound illusion discs that he had invented to make the new Circus Baby 2.0 look more like Elizabeth, then put the circuit board into Circus Baby 2.0. He had brought his daughter back, pretty much. However, while Vincent was sleeping, William broke into his house, kidnapped Elizabeth, then brought her back to the facility. There, He turned her into the mascot for his new restaurant, Circus Baby's Pizza World. The place would become a huge success, and Fazbear Inc. made a lot of money from it. However, just like the other employees, William did not treat Elizabeth well at all, and frequently would shock her to subdue her, or occasionally just for fun.